Welcome to this tarot reading in Mr. Luca Picciche's YouTube channel. He's sitting next to me and I want to welcome you all so warmly. I also realize that you might wonder why I'm sitting actually here in the place of Mr. Picciche and he's sitting there. But after my first reading as a client, you can see in Mr. Picciche's highly curated YouTube channel and also see his production in other social media platforms. I must admit that getting answers to my questions from the tarots, I get so enthralled and interested in the subject. So I asked Mr. Picciche if we could do this like mock reading. For this I have studied that Dalì Tarot deck, the meaning of the cards, and now we feel that we are ready to do our first rehearsal reading, and I have got my first client here as a prop, Mr. Luca Picciche, who has decades of experience of tarots, and he's also a well-known figure in Italian and international online tarot reading platforms. So, and myself, introducing to you, my name is Janne and I'm a Helsinki-based lawyer, so this is totally out of my normal sphere of activity, and but after getting more clarity, got that triggered interest, I decided that I just want to do this, get more into the subject, and Mr. Picciche was kind enough to act as my tutor in the matter.
Okay, let's get started. Mr. Janne has decided to succeed with the method fake it till you make it, which is an important point of our last. He has studied the meanings of the cards vis-a-vis a question asked, and being a true fashionista, chosen the look for the part, exuding the portent esoteric aura related to tarots. At the end of Janne's reading session, I will give him constructive feedback, and we all see and hear if Janne's refined verbose acquired in courtrooms and his long litigation practice will help him to convey the messages of the tarot cards of the stacks. Well, but now let's tarot.
Wow, I have always admired your sartorial savvy, Mr. Picciche.
Thank you, Janne. I must also admit that your preparatory work for the visual part of our first rehearsal is impeccable, with lit orrefours, skulls, and period candelabras, empire period candelabras. What a great start creating esoteric atmosphere. And the Tarot Universal by Salvator Dalì, originally with 3 repeatedly stylistic elements. Artistic ability, crudely contrasted with provocative crudeness, creates surreal atmosphere.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Picciche, for these encouraging words before we start. My approach for today's reading is that I randomly chose 3 stacks out of that Dalì deck, each containing 5 cards, and these stacks represents your past, present and future. Your task is now to choose the first deck.
This is for me the past.
Okay, now put your heavily bejeweled hands for the next one you want to choose.
Okay, this is for me the present.
Okay, so this one remains as your future.
Perfect.
So to start, please pick up your first card, show it to me. Okay.
The magician.
Oh, the magician. In this card, Salvator Dalì has depicted himself. And what I can tell you about this card and your past, that you were born with these unique qualities connected with this card. You have made choices in your life, come up to solutions ordinary, normal people would find unimaginable. So this card, and as a first card, is very to the point, I have to say. The card Magician also depicts the elasticity and unique combination of your personality traits have enabled you to live a life in the past and present as well, which is truly you.
Wow, I'm really impressed by the accuracy of this reading.
Oh, thank you. Please, Mr. Pichke, pick up your next card. Show it to me. The Chariot. The Chariot symbolizes the way of desire, and you have been able to fulfill the necessary desires and also been able to get rid of unnecessary fears. It also advises you that the journey, it is own reward, not the goal necessarily, and that has enabled you to come to the point where you are currently at now. And it's obvious no one of us can change our own karma, but I can see that you have been able to turn slightly the course of the chariot, not totally jump off the chariot, but turn the course in these important life points in your past. And that has brought you where you are currently and the way of life.
I'm really astonished by the depth of your vision.
Please pick up the next card. Wheel of Fortune. This picture shows, as you are showing it to everybody, a zodiac, reminding us of an Ouija board. The card is divided also in the middle, so one part is representing the conscious and the unconscious. But thanks to your tenacity and your quest, you have been able to live fully out and rewardingly your desires and being able to get rid of undesired ones. Please pick up the next card, or do you want to say something?
Well, I like your way of interpreting them. So I can pick up another one?
Yes, please. Oh, Justice. What can I say? I just say wow. Justice in these tarots is a symbol of virtue and has been since the antiquity. And I see that you have had your legal issues in the past, but because you have been able to distinguish between the known and unknown and make good judgments based on that ability, you have always prevailed in courts and come out as a winner, which is very impressive. So justice has been served in your past.
Thank you very much. Wow, that is terribly true. What you said is terribly true. Really astonishing.
Thank you. You have one card left in your past deck. Please show it to me and the audience. Strength, fuerza. That card depicts your vitality and energy. It tells me that you, in your past, you have led adventurous life. You have made brave choices. You have also, it tells me, I say it loud what it tells me that you have had a sexually very active past, but that is an area you can discuss with me and tell me the juiciest parts, but naturally after this hearing and in Sub Rosa.
Yes, that is true. That is true. I put it.
You don't have to blush.
I'm surprised how you could recollect the main points of my past.
Thank you.
I'm really impressed by the comprehensive and truthful analysis the tarots could provide, but deep inside I'm much more interested in the present and in the future. So let's go ahead.
Avec plaisir, Mr. Pichike. So pick up the first card of the second deck. High Priestess. What I can tell you about this card, firstly, it is a good continuance, a natural one, taking into account your past just revealed by these previous ones. In the Dalì depiction of the High Priestess, you can see she's holding a Bible or some holy script, more or less here. Those two variations exists, and it means that the person getting that card is kind of like reading the script of his or her own life. And to me, this tells that when you got that card, that you have been able to find your own way of life, your own style. Your choices are conscious, they are not habitual, that type of things. That it means that your journey has led to you what was written in your High Priestess script.
Wow, yes, there is a kind of cylindric pergamon. Very, very, very interesting.
Okay, it's time for the next card, so please pick it up. The Emperor. In this card, Dalì has got inspiration from the gods Jupiter and Zeus. And in tarot tradition, the card deals with emperors and kings. The card, in your case, reveals how you have come on terms with your own masculinity. And it tells me that you have matured in that field a lot. You're very self-assured about your own masculinity. It has evolved to a point where you even accept showing off some feminine traits in your style, and you can do it with confidence because your self-assurance of your own masculinity is so strong. It also reveals us that you are very tolerant to diversity. You don't have any underlying fears. because of your strong masculinity. You see, for example, gender as a social construct rather than a biological predetermined fact. You're very open with your attitude and your behavior with various kind of people with your, because of your this masculine self-assurance, I can say.
Thank you. That was really impressive.
Thank you. So let's move on. Next one. Oh, the Hanged Man. That Hanged Man card, picture-wise, can look to some people even as grotesque and weird, but it also depicts that he is in peace. Of course, his worldview is upside down. It is not real world, but it's more transcendental. It's an interesting card for you, even if it might in the first glance appear grotesque.
Thank you.
Please. Temperance. One of these classical virtues, an interesting choice. It shows you have temperance. It shows the temperance. Visually, it is different from the other cards in this Dalì deck because it has very pale color palette, and it in that sense is an interesting anomaly, one can say. But the message to you for the current life is that you have to find your own path. You have to have that temperance. You don't reach your goals by looking up some other people, some idols, trying to mimic them, but you have to remain true to your own style and what is innermost typical for you, and bring out your own strong points and get rid of these undesired whims, so to say.
Wow, I understand. Thank you.
Thank you. Please take the next one. Wow, the devil. The taboos in your life have been violated. What has been invisible has become a reality. And this card tells us that we all have these hidden desires, something in our subconscious that wants to come out. And if we use the biblical terms, it's this card tells the story about the prodigal son, and in your case it tells that you are able to let that prodigal son come out, and it is time now that he comes back home.
Wow, very, very deep. But to say the truth, I'm here to know my future, if it is possible.
Of course it's possible. Why we looked into your past and present is because you can't know your future without knowing a person's past and present life. But as you request, we now move on and take the last stack and look how your future will...
I'm trembling of fear.
Oh my God. The Tower. The Tower, there are two opposite symbols, the Babel and the Pentecost. And that makes your future interesting. It shows maybe there are some rocky times ahead, but being focused and alert, you can avoid making mistakes and with steadfastness follow your own path.
I agree. I start seeing things more clear.
Please take the next card. The star. The star indicates something about finding the personal truth. And for most of us, that personal truth seems like a distant, often difficult to reach star. But it is a fact that finding your personal truth, it's a plinth, like a basic foundation of all your dreams. And moving towards that with grit and tenacity is extremely important for you in your future.
Yes. That is true.
So please pick up the next one. Two Wands, and that card depicts two opposite powers which oftentimes are difficult to handle or manage together. In everyday life it can appear for example, that if you have a bigger task looming ahead, you keep procrastinating, or it can appear in difficulties combining your professional career with a family life. But the card gives you consolence in a sense that there are solutions to these problems, even these opposite forces in your life, that there are techniques. For example, if you have a big task at hand ahead of you, split it into small portions and do it step by step, like little milestones, and tap yourself on the shoulder when you have completed your milestone before moving to the next one.
That is very, very wise. Thank you.
Thank you. The next one, please. The moon. The moon means that something that has been previously suppressed becomes a reality. And for example, your spiritual distress you can move into the realms of spiritual clearness and clarity, calm, peace.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. The last one, please, Mr. Pichike. Wow. The sun. The sun, in your case, depicts like a rebirth during your lifetime. It means maybe a change of course in career, your evolvement as a person, and with your previously revealed capabilities and this personality with all these traits, you are in the future moving towards your desired goals. If I quote the Saint Augustine, love God and live like you want. And when I look at you and see you now wearing those shades, I have to say that your future looks so bright. You're gonna wear shades.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm really petrified by the precision of this reading. Wow, it was as precise as a pre-mortem analysis. I am all in goose pimples. I truly hope and feel confident the message conveyed by tarots will materialize. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your help with me getting introduced into the world of tarots and making this possible through your YouTube channel. So thank you, Mr. Peach, again.
Thank you, and the setting you prepared is really giving the right atmosphere of exoterism.
Oh, I'm blushing Thank you so much.